What's up, guys? Today I'm here with Omar from Zala Woodworking, and we're gonna do some budget epoxy projects, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so today we're gonna make some molds. We're gonna show you a budget way to do epoxy projects just for the beginners, just see if you like it, see if it's your thing. And I'm gonna show you what y'all can do to save money for your first pours and first boards. And we're gonna do a couple different things and just show you guys, so tag along. Right now we're gonna make molds with some MDF, and then I also have the silicone pan mold. I actually picked this up at a thrift store for like $1. So that's gonna be one. And for science reasons, I want to try this on something. I used to work on cars, so I used to play with this a lot, and we're gonna do some epoxy with that today. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and get started by making the molds out the MDF. For this, because we are going budget, we're just gonna use regular old packing tape, non-Tyvex. This is like $3. That was just a scrap piece I had, but you can actually buy shelving at Home Depot for like 15 bucks, and you just need basic tools to cut that into strips and the sizes you need. I'm gonna run on the table saw because I'm gonna show you how to make it, but I have tools, so the rest of it's on y'all. And then we are gonna do the little board. This was cheap. It's just silicone. Epoxy doesn't really stick to silicone, so we're gonna make that. So right now we're gonna make 2 molds out of the MDF, so stay tuned. Alright, so right now we cut up what we're going to use for the molds. These are 2.5 inch. These are, right now they're 15 by 9, just because the piece of lumber I have is 30. So we're going to cut this in half, and we're going to do it. And for a lot of people who are just starting, Maker Reusable Mold sells lumber. And this is where I got this olive from. They sell it, it's already dry and everything, so you don't have to worry about a bunch of stuff. You can always check in your local sawmills for their prices. A lot of times your local sawmills are the best guys to go to. Rockler does sell live edge, but it is a little expensive, so I would go with honestly, our friends in Canada, they have good prices on their stuff. And also I think it's called John, I'll put the link down below, but there's another company in Canada that also has dry charcuterie board size lumber that's dry and already ready for you to use. And if you're just getting started and you just want to try this out, that's where I would recommend for you to go. I think Black Forest Sawmill also has some, but yeah. So right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna tape one of these and then do something else with this one, and then pour the other one. I'm making just a solid mold right now. Omar's taping everything on that side. He's just using packing tape, wrapping all the way around. When you're working with MDF, it's really important to drill pilot holes and then screw them down. That way you don't break it like this. But this doesn't matter, it's outside. So what I'm gonna do with this mold specifically is I'm gonna spray it with plastidip. It's pillable paint. Right now a lot of people are using silicone from cars to seal their molds, and I've always actually wondered if this, because this peels off too, it's not permanent, and I know it's not going to stick to the melamine, and my planer will eat this. I'm pretty sure it will. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one and spray it, and then let it sit out so it'll dry, and then I'm gonna show you some tips on making after you tape it and everything when you're sealing those molds. All right, guys, pro tip: before you screw down your sides on your molds, whatever one you make it a habit to add a little bit of silicone on there. That way, in case whatever you put on the edge moves or something, it still ends up sealing it. So I always add a little bit. I don't try to add a whole bunch or go crazy with it, because I still add some on top, but this is just extra security so that you can make sure it doesn't leak, because epoxy is expensive and wasting it sucks ass. On this, I messed up and I cut it, so I did add a little bit on this side, but the rest of it is just gonna get plastic dip. That wasn't my bad. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and start spraying plastic dip onto that one, and I lost it. Oh, here it goes. Yeah. So my thoughts behind the plastic dip is because it's not gonna stick to that. It shouldn't really stick to the charcuterie board, and it should be able to seal the corners in because it's a thick paint. And honestly, it's just for science reasons and for the hell of it, but I've always wondered it, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a couple coats of this to it, and I'm only gonna put it in the joints pretty much, and then we're gonna leave it to dry along with the silicone over there, and we're gonna let it dry. We're gonna go get something to eat, and when we come back, we will attach the olive wood and go from there. Oh shit, it's dark as hell. Oh, there you go. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and let this dry, let that one he's doing dry, and go get something to eat, and come back in a little while and start pouring. Probably not start pouring, but get them ready to pour. All right, so this one has silicone on it and it's drying. The other one has plastidip and is drying. The third one we're gonna use is that little red one, but it doesn't need anything because it's already sealed. So we're gonna go get some food, come back once this dries for a little bit, and then I guess start getting the wood ready to pour the epoxy. Cool thing about when you buy your wood from Maker Reusable Mold and stuff and other places, so if you buy it like this, it's already pretty much flat and it's sanded and it's ready, so you can actually start boarding your pours quick. Price calling. Hello? Nothing, about to go to Whataburger. You want something? Alright guys, we're back from getting food. The silicone one's pretty dry. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one ready, and I had to add a little more plastic dip on the other one over there, but so we're just gonna let that dry for a little longer. The two big molds are getting olive wood, which I got from Maker's Made, and then this one is probably gonna end up being a set of coasters, but I have walnut rounds that are gonna end up going in here. That's gonna be it, and then we're gonna cut it into squares to make a set of a little bit slightly bigger coasters, but that's going on that. I actually got these walnut rounds from Etsy, and I needed rounds, and they had them small enough and for the right price, so that's what I did. So like, if you don't have lumber near you, don't let that stop you. You can always find places online that'll ship it to your door, and that way you can get this started. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get the epoxy ready and actually get these things ready. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do these to hold them down, but we're gonna go ahead and put a clamp on the olive wood, and then once that dries, we'll do the same thing over there. For the epoxy we're using, we're gonna be using super clear, their deep pour. And this video is probably gonna finish after we do the pours and stuff. And then there's gonna be a finishing video too, because I'm gonna have to let them sit for 3 days before I pop them out. But yeah. So in this silicone mold, we're gonna put some blue green. I decided to do blue green, black diamond. In the silicone mold, we're gonna add the aluminum, black diamond, with the walnut shapes there. And that third batch is gonna be what? The third batch we're gonna do what? I'm gonna do Aztec Gold and Carbon Black. These two black diamond pigments. I've used the gold before. Have you ever used a Carbon Black? So we're gonna try these two out with the olive. Might look cool. Might not. Who knows? Alright guys, so like I said, we're gonna be using Super Clear's liquid glass for these. This is their deep pour. I know I said this was a budget charcuterie board build, but don't skimp out on the epoxy. Epoxy can be expensive. I think the smallest set for this is like 80 bucks. If you subscribe to their newsletter, they send weekly or monthly coupons, and that helps out a lot, just for the people who are just starting out and just now getting into this. But yeah, so we went ahead and picked our colors for our pigments. This is the plexiglass, what's it called?
Plastidip.
Plastidip, that's what there it goes. And I'm gonna do Aztec Gold and Carbon Black from Black Diamond. The little walnut rounds is gonna end up getting aluminum, and this one's getting blue green. That's it?
Yeah.
Just blue green?
Yeah, blue green.
Okay, we're just gonna do blue green on that one. Yeah.
You want to do separation?
I'll do it, bro. You just gotta separate it now, and tomorrow we'll run it around. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start mixing the epoxies. This is actually my pour room. I just moved to a new shop, and I just finished it, kind of, sort of, but I still haven't built in my workbenches yet. Still wondering, they're debating how I'm gonna set that up. I'm not sure, but it's all gonna be sitting on top of my Maker-Made reusable mold. I have 2 of these, and then I also have a couple more molds down there. And yeah, so I'm just doing this that way in case I do leak epoxy, it falls on the HDPE mold, and I can just pop it off and clean it and keep going. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and start mixing epoxy. One thing about the pigments is they come in these little bags, but a little bit goes a really long way with them. We're gonna go ahead and mix these with skewers, just because I need to make some more clear for the little one, and I don't want to mix the colors too much, because this is gonna be black and gold, that's gonna be blue, and that's gonna be a whole different color. so we went ahead and poured it. This is the black and gold, aluminum, and blue green.
Yeah,
blue green. Yeah. So this is a plastidip mold. It did leak on that side a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I cut one side really crooked, and I sprayed it, hoping it was gonna seal, but it didn't. But it's still, it's like a 98%. You just gotta wait to see what happens when it's done. But yeah, and then here goes this. See, so you don't need big fancy molds or expensive molds. They're helpful. They are really, really helpful. I have a bunch, but don't let it discourage you. Like, if you want to go out and try pouring some stuff, go for it. Like, do it. Like, you can get you a slightly bigger cake sheet and practice with that until you get it. Especially if you want to make yourself one, or you want to make someone in your life one. You don't need a whole bunch of stuff. At Home Depot, they actually sell like shelves. I think they're 16 inches wide by 3 feet, and you can actually get one of those, cut it, put tape around it, and do the same thing.
You can even do plywood.
Yeah, you can even do plywood with tape.
But plywood right now is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So just take a note of that.
And I am going to be playing around with this a lot more. There's a couple other things that I want to try out. I really wanted to try the plastidip. This is the old-fashioned way. I did them before I got my molds. But there's a couple more other things I want to try, and I'm going to go ahead and... I have to make boards anyways, so I'm going to try some other stuff out just for for science reasons, really. But yeah, if you guys are looking for epoxy, I'm a big fan of liquid glass. I've been using it for about 1.5 years, and I haven't had any issues. I also use their tabletop stuff, which is really cool. Later on, I'll do a video on the difference between deep pours and tabletop, and then like you'll see a bunch of people with doing swirls and all this kinds of stuff, and there's reasons for that and there's times for that. With the deep pour, you pretty much have to wait about 12 to 15 hours or 18 hours to swirl it for the swirls to stay. If not, they'll just go back down. They'll just go away because the pigment's a little too heavy for this. This stuff runs like water. And one really important thing is your temperature. Make sure that you're mixing epoxy where you're supposed to, because liquid glass and all that is supposed to be about 70 degrees when it's drying time. So like, you can always do it inside or something like that. Let me see. Sick. All right, guys, so that's it for today. Omar was here in town. He's going back home already within the next couple of days or whatever. But I'm gonna finish those boards. We did make a podcast, so there will be a link probably below here, and it'll be on our Instagrams to it. And yeah, so see you guys next time. I'm gonna show you the finishing process on those boards.
See you guys later.
Huh? Doing a mold? That kind of mold? For real? You've never done them?
Well, I did
half a mold?
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
half mold. But it wasn't like this.
Oh yeah, no, I made a crap ton.